Aloha Sidzillions! Welcome back to another video. This one, as you can tell from reading the title, is a video based on the Riverdale Season 7 trailer. Now, this trailer is literally only a minute long, or give or take the seconds, but it's definitely less than 2 minutes. And in my crazy brain, having been addicted to this weird show since Season 1, I have made 22 questions. Based on a minute of footage, I have 22 questions. It's crazy, I know, ridiculous. But anyway, the aim of this video is to share those 22 questions with you. And then as I watch the show when it airs, I will take notes whenever an answer to my question pops up. And then at the end of the season, I'll make a follow-up video giving you guys 22 answers. As of recording this video, in case that wasn't clear, I have not seen a single episode in the season. I've only seen the trailer, Instagram, and my own Googling. I don't know anything as of right now. If you want to watch the other Riverdale content that I so far have on this channel, they will be linked in the description. 3 years ago, I did a rant on Season 4, why Kevin Keller should also have gone to therapy in that one episode. And also, I have a rant on the whole Kang's baby Anthony custody situation from Season 6. That one was filmed around the time of this one, so the reasons as to why I put it off so long from Season 6 ending will be discussed in the intro of that video. I'm not going to be getting into it now. Also, before we get into it, I just want to mention that if at any point in this video you see me looking down, that's because the notes are on my iPad, all 22 questions that I have written. And there is no particular order in this video. I'm just going to follow the order in which I wrote them, which was random in the first place. The first couple of questions are connected, so we're going to start there. Number 1, how did they get to the 50s, and why the 50s in the first place? Number 2, is them getting to the 50s somehow connected to Cheryl at the end of Season 6 when she used her powers to vanquish Percy and the Comet? Now, according to my very brief research, the first ever Archie comic was published December 1941. However, it didn't gain mass popularity until the mid to late 50s. So that's probably why they're choosing the 50s. It's to do with the OG Archie aesthetic. But at the same time, I still ask why. Because in my mind, they could have gone anywhere past or future. Question number 3, how do they get back to the present? Or I guess technically the future. I think the number I heard was that it's a gap of 67 years. How do they cross that gap and get back to the timeline they're supposed to be in? Again, we have some related questions. Number 4 asks, why is Jughead the only one who remembers? I mean, it makes sense because he is the narrator, but how I specifically am coming at this question is to say, A, why is it only Jughead, not Jughead and someone else, whomever those someones are? Or B, why isn't it nobody? And I mean nobody right off the bat, and then they build it throughout the season as people start to discover things. They figure out it's wrong later on as we progress. And then number 5 is, how does Jughead convince his friends, his classmates, to believe him and his theories? Whatever plan he's trying to concoct, how does he convince his friends to believe and go along with it? There's a scene in the trailer, and that scene leads you to believe that Archie is the most adamant. He's like, bro, Jughead, it's 1955, we're teenagers in high school, just enjoy life because it's good. He wants Jughead to get off the train of his made-up theories, his wild, crazy sci-fi ideas. Number 6 asks, how many episodes in the season, let's assume they do their standard 22 or so length run, will they have in the 50s versus back in the present? How long does it take them to time travel to the future where they're supposed to be at? So all of my romance questions, I seem to have batched them together when I was writing, so bear with me, questions 7 through 16. Number 7 asks, what is happening with the Choni situation? Partially, I am referring to what Heather mentioned in Season 6. She read the universe or whatever in her witch powers and figured out that Cheryl being with Tony is a soulmate endgame within the universe. That's why they broke up, and Heather went back to Greendale instead of staying with Cheryl. Had she stayed with Cheryl, who knows, maybe she would have time traveled and been part of Season 7, but from my understanding, we've now written her off. But I also mean tying into question 8, what is happening with Tony and Fangs? Like the fact that they got married in season 6, the fact that they're raising baby Anthony together. I want to know what's going on with Choni in Cheryl's case, but also in Tony's case, specifically Fangs and Anthony. Now, speaking of Anthony, the second part of question 8 asks, did he also time travel, or does Anthony just not exist in this season? And that can be baby Anthony, or that could be grown-up Anthony, the bubble and the powers that they used to speed up his aging, so Percy couldn't do anything to him. Either way, do we have an Anthony in the season? Number 9 is what's happening with Fangs irrelevant of Tony and Anthony, because in this trailer we didn't see him. And I can partially answer that question now, by the way, because I've come across things on social media. It looks as though Fangs is going to be some kind of musician in the 7th season, which I'm not hating on, but I'm also questioning because it doesn't seem to fit his character arc. Name me a single episode where he played an instrument or sang a song, and don't count the musical episodes. That's an exception for everything. Like, I'm aware he directed the Carrie play with Kevin, but he doesn't give me theater Broadway vibes the way Kevin obviously does. So I really want to have some context as to why the hell he's turned into a musician. It would make more sense if, say, Archie was back to doing it a la season 1 vibes. You know what I mean? But anyway, we'll learn more about his situation when I actually watch the show. Question 10 asks, what is happening with Koos, aka the Kevin and Moose ship? I saw something online that made it sound like we were going to be keeping Moose around. We were going to be keeping the Koos relationship together. We're dealing with Koos and we're dealing with Choni, even though it's gay people in the 50s, if you know what I mean. But that leads on to question 11. What is going on with Kevin and Clay? Is Koos really going to be a thing if Kevin is busy making out with Clay? And for those of you who don't know, Clay is Clay Walker, Kevin's canonic husband within the comics. They are now casting his comic husband to be in the show. I'm very excited to meet this character. I'm very excited for their relationship, but I am a huge Koos stan, so we'll have to see what goes on with that, because Moose was not in the trailer, nor was he in any of the things I've come across online, social media, and Googling. So I have no idea what's going to be going on with his character, Kevin aside. Anyway, my second part of question 11 is what the hell is going on with Kevin and Betty? We know that Kevin is a gay character, but as I mentioned before, it's the 50s, and you know what that means for that kind of person. And if you don't, Google it. I'm not going on to that in this video. But Kevin and Betty, there's been scenes, and this pains me to say every time, they made out in a car. It seems like they're dating. Like, I don't know if this is a closet Kevin thing and Betty genuinely thinks they're together, or if this is like a beard thing. Betty knows the truth, but she's helping him hide it because, again, the friggin' 50s. We'll have to find out, but I want to know, question 12, we're now leading into, how do the three situations affect each other? What is going on with Kevin and Clay versus Kevin and Betty versus Kevin and Koos? I want to know about each relationship individually, and I want to know about all the relationships together. Kevin is my favorite character, if you didn't already know that. Then, question 13, I'm finally harkening back to Cheryl I had aforementioned. Why the hell is she marrying Archie? Is she pretending she's straight? Is this another beard situation? I don't know what the reasoning is. I could say again for the millionth time, gay and 50s, but why is she marrying Archie? I know she did kiss him in earlier seasons, but why would a lesbian want to marry a guy? I have a million questions just on that. Then question number 14 is, who the hell is the curly-haired man that I couldn't identify? There was a kissing scene, I think it was Veronica. I have no idea who the hell she's kissing, so could we please answer who that man is and why he exists? Number 15, I again go back to Cheryl. Who the hell was she kissing in that one scene? I think it was Tony, but I couldn't tell for certain, so I'd like to see if I can find that scene within an episode and answer my question. And then number 16 is just in general for the whole entire show. Who is kissing, dating, married, etc., to each other. Like, I want to know everything about everyone. I confirmed for sure that there was a Betty and Archie kiss, so that's going to do something, even though Archie is supposedly marrying Cheryl and Kevin is with Betty, as I mentioned. But also, I saw Jughead x Veronica kiss, which I absolutely despise. Do not accept that. It's awful. It was bad enough that one time I did in the hot tub. But I would like to know who is dating who and how it all connects. And this was a very long rant just about relationships, but hopefully these questions 7 through 16 get you having a sense of what I want to know about in the season. I feel I got a little bit heated and passionate there, no pun intended, so hopefully I didn't speak too quickly. In the last 6 or so minutes going on about relationships, you actually understood me. But anyway, moving on to the next subtopic of this video, I want to ask question 17. Does time travel have any potential connection to dimension travel? Ethel and Dilton, who I saw both of them in this trailer, are linked to the whole Riverdale situation from previous seasons. So are they there because time and dimension have that link, or are they there because we are before the time they technically died? Which leads me into question 18. Are there any previously resurrected characters we're going to get to see in this season? Now, my wording, if you were to read my notes, I had listed Midge specifically as my example because I freaking love Midge. If she comes back, she could date Moose because I freaking love Mooge. That would be the one way you can make me happy in terms of getting rid of Coos. Kevin's busy with Clay, Kevin's busy with Betty anyway, so give me Mooge. But anyway, not to go off on that rant, I saw on Instagram, and I can now partially answer my own question, that yes, Midge will be coming back guaranteed. She's not going to be played by the same actress, which I'm upset about because I really liked the original actress, but I'm not going to have any grudges or predispositions going in. I'm sure Abby is a wonderful performer. I'm not going to judge until I know for sure. However, it's just that to me, this is very different from the Reggie situation when they recast him only after one season. And by the way, I didn't even like Reggie in the first season, and that's not Ross Butler's fault. That's just character evolution, so it's ironic that I hated him in the first season and liked him second on, but again, not to go into that rant. In addition to Midge, characters that I know are coming back from what I've seen on social media, we have Hal Cooper, Alice Cooper, or I guess Smith, didn't she revert back? Hiram is back. Ben Buttons is back. Potentially we get Tom Keller. His status says unknown if you read his fandom wiki page, but potentially we'll get Tom Keller back. And that's where the list stands. I have nothing confirmed for, say, Polly at this stage, but I'll update you when I make the answer video at the end of the season. Just realized a name I forgot to mention, which is Penelope Blossom. Based on what I've seen with social media posts from the actress, I believe we are going to be getting her as well, but I'll know for certain when I watch the season. And for example, some of the posts has been her hamming it up with the actor who plays Julian Blossom. So, bonus question, there's now 23 in total for the video, something I forgot to write down, but is this Julian, the person, the same Julian who was supposedly in the Julian doll? I'm assuming this Julian is the Julian from the triplets that Nana had mentioned. Cheryl and Jason were supposed to have had 3 of them instead, but one of them got ate in the womb or something. But I think the reason I didn't write it down is because Jason never appeared in this trailer we're talking about. But either way, a bonus question for the video, is Julian the person the same as Julian the doll? And if we're seeing Julian, who died even before birth, then maybe we'll see Jason. I'd like to have him come back. That would be hysterical, given the whole first season was you died, who did it? But anyway. So question 19 asks, when the gang finally figures out their crap and manages to time travel successfully back to the future, they are now in their correct timeline. Who exactly is the group time traveling? Do we only have season 6 characters making that jump? We only have Archie, Betty, Veronica, Jughead, Cheryl, Kevin, Tabitha, Fangs, Tony. I don't think I'm missing anyone, but I'll throw Moose just in case. Would it only be those 9 to 10 people who get to time travel? Or would it be all the characters getting to time travel, and now in the present, we have a new present because these dead people aren't dead anymore. I'll use 3 names as an example, I'll not make the list too long, but would, for example, Ethel, Dilton, and Midge get to come as well? Like, where are we drawing that line and why? So question 20 asks, do the characters still have their superpowers, or are they quote-unquote normal human beings? And then 21, given that Tabitha's power is time travel, in fact, she went to the past and future multiple times throughout season 6, I believe she'll be the most likely to believe Jughead, harkening back to what I said about question 5, but we'll have to see for certain how that plays out. I just believe that her power being time travel, she'll have a connection to it, even if she doesn't realize it at first. But also this whole thing kind of brings me back to question 19. Maybe if they don't have the powers, there's a way to regain them, and then you need those powers in order to time travel. If you already existed and didn't have powers, Moose, Tony, Fangs, they were in the future, okay, I digress, you can come somehow. But those that didn't exist, they can't come because they don't want to change the future, you know what I mean? They want to get back to their time and then live it as it would have been lived had they not gone anywhere, kind of thing. So we've now made it to question 22, the final question of the video. This is a big one, bear with me, I'm going to pull up my iPad and read as I've written it. Archie is strapped to a table with a saw blade coming towards him. Right after, we see Ethel and she is covered in blood. Are these connected / the same event, one scene to the next chronologically, therefore Ethel is covered in Archie's blood? And if that is the case, why did Ethel want to harm him? What did he ever do to her? Or to people connected to Ethel? And if it's not the same event, then it must just be editing and dramatics for the sake of a trailer. And if it is just dramatics and editing being taken out of context, it might not be the same scene, it might not be even the same episode, then who is doing it to him? I still have the why, but now we add the who. One guess that I can think of would be Hiram. He's coming back into the show, and we know him and Archie have always low-key hated each other, but I don't want to make assumptions until I know for sure. Let's wait and find out when I watch the season. Alright, that concludes this video of me answering 20 plus questions about the Riverdale Season 7 trailer. Hopefully in my passion I didn't speak too quickly and you actually understood what I was saying throughout the whole video. So if you did and you're still at this point, drop a big like down below if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new so you don't miss any of my future content. Check me out on social media, always linked in the description, where I also have my additional Riverdale videos as mentioned in the intro. Comment down below your thoughts on this topic if you have any questions, opinions, blah 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 about Riverdale Season 7 so far. And aloha till next time!